Welcome back, students. Today we are going to see about the next looping structure, that is the do while loop. Okay, so it is the looping statement where the condition of the loop will be executed at least once, and then you'll go for the checking of the condition. Okay, so this is the syntax where you have do and then a set of statements here, and then you'll be checking for the while condition whether this particular condition is true or not. Okay, so this is the flow diagram. Initialize some variable and it will execute the loop body, and then it will check for the condition. If the condition is false, it will go for termination. Otherwise, it will go ahead and it will update the loop variable, and then it will continue with the loop body. Okay, we'll see an example. Before that, we'll go with a comparison of do while loop and while loop. So it is an important comparison in C. In general, we used to get these kind of questions also in C. Like to know if you have understood the concept clearly. Okay, so while loop or the do while loop, what is the difference? Okay, so first one is the entry control loop, which means you are checking the condition in the entry point itself. The next one is the exit control loop, where you are going to check the condition at the end. Okay, and the test condition is checked before the body of the loop is executed, and here one at least once you will execute the body of the loop, and then you will go for the testing of condition. And loop will not be executed if the condition is false. Here it will be executed at least once even if the condition is false. And based on the nature of its flow, it is known as top tested loop, or you can say it as an entry control loop, and this is known as bottom tested loop, or it is exit control loop. Okay, so this is a flow. So here condition is true, it will go for the body, and here it will do the body and it will check the condition, and then if needed it will continue in the loop. Next is the for loop. So this is the most frequently used loop, like at least for a beginner. So it has three structure. One is initialize the loop counter variable and check for the condition, and then increment or decrement the loop counter variable. You may ask me, the same thing was done for while loop also, but it was done in three different statements. Initialization will be done in one, and then condition checking will be done along with the while keyword, and then inside the statement block you'll have the increment or decrement of the loop counter variable, which is done or in here in for loop. All the three is done in a single line. Okay, first initialization part, and then the condition checking part, and then the increment or decrement part, all are done in a single row. Okay, so this is the general structure, which may look like the while loop itself, while loop only. So it is initialization, condition checking, and implementation. Okay, actual loop structure is this, but you give it in a single line like this. Okay, example is for I is equal to 0, and this is the initialization of your looping variable, and this is the condition checking variable, and this is the increment or decrement part. Okay, so either you can give it like this, or see here you can give it as a decrement counter also. Like you can initialize the value to 10, you can initialize the value to 10, and you can check if it is less than or equal to some value, or greater than or equal to some value, and then you can decrement it. Okay, so this is the syntax, and this is the example program. Here you have got two variables, initialized two variables, and declared two variables, and you have declared a variable known as sum, and you have equated it to 0. Now you are going to use this for loop. Here I is equal to 1. We are checking for the condition if I is less than or equal to n. Suppose say I is n is 5. Okay. Obviously I will be less than n. So it will go for the go inside the loop, and it will do the sum. Here sum value will be initially 0, so sum plus I, which is 0 plus 1. So it will continue till n is equal to 5. So it will stop when n value becomes 6. Okay, so this is the structure of for loop. So nested for is also possible. So inside one for loop, you can give one more for loop, and you can use it as a nested for statement. This is an example of nested for, which is commonly used in matrix examples. So one will be used for getting the row values, and the other will be used for getting the column values. So when row value is equal to 1, so when row value is equal to 1, you get the column values inside the, okay, you get the column value inside the next for loop. So using this, you can try and test different patterns. Pattern structure can be formed. So these are some examples of nested for statements which you can try. So here you are getting the number of rows, and here you are getting the next value, like next row to be printed. So like this, you can use nested if statements and nested looping structures. You can use and explore different kind of pattern programs. Okay, with this we'll conclude this video. Thank you so much. Thank you, students.